Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to an EVE Online video. This one is going to be a bit of a cross between some gameplay but mostly discussion, because in today's video I want to give you guys the final preparations that I've been doing for the Citadel expansion. Now the expansion is coming tomorrow, so this is going to be the last video normally before Citadel hits. And it won't really be possible for people that are only aware of what's been happening at this point, of course, to get all of these preparations done. But I do quickly want to give you guys a little bit of background about what I've been doing and what I'm planning to do when the expansion actually hits. So this, of course, this is my boss or our boss at the moment. One thing that you may have noticed is that I've begun to scale it down a little bit. So we used to also have a medium and a large ship assembly array. There's also a drone construction array. I've brought those back because I'm planning to downscale this boss when the Citadel is deployed for our corporation. The reason for that is pretty simple, of course. Citadel has asset safety, and that is much better for all of the storage, all of the reprocessing, all of that good stuff will no longer be needed here. So I'm planning to switch to a small boss that'll focus on just the research, a little bit of production, and that's really it. Maybe just some ammo and equipment or something like that. I'm not entirely sure yet. The last few weeks has mostly been trying to fatten up my wallet, and with the help of my brother I got now to 4.5 billion ISK, so that is definitely not too bad. And what has helped me, I told you guys that I found a bit of a market niche that was bringing in a decent amount of money. Let me quickly show you guys. I still have one job concerning the item itself going, or no, I don't anymore. That's right, they are all finished. So let's head out to Escama because I did secure them over there. So what is it that's been making me money? It is blueprint copies for structure components. So if you go to the markets here, you've got blueprints, manufacturing, outpost components and station components. So stuff like this here, advertisement, nexus, construction parts, docking bays, factories, hangar arrays, laboratories, all of that stuff is going to be needed in huge amounts. And those blueprint copies like 3 weeks ago were just completely dry. You couldn't find anything in Jita, anything in Amar, and so I just started, I bought 12 of these blueprints, everything you need up to a large Citadel, and I started making some copies of these, and I could sell these really easily in just a few days for 15 million a piece. Now by the time you're watching this, there's a lot of competition that has come in on the market, so I'm obviously not the only one that's been able to do that. And the price has dropped considerably, but when I first started bringing those in, they were selling like hotcakes, and that's made me a decent amount of money. I did, of course, spend 2.4 billion in order to buy all of the blueprints, but I made a few hundred million back, and I think that there is a big market for that in the future, and more on that when I'll be docked, so I can actually show you guys the exact plans that I have. But yes, creating blueprint copies of these structure components has been pretty damn lucrative, and I do think that longer term these blueprints are simply going to pay themselves back, even though there is going to be a lot of competition. I do expect that there will be a lot of demand for these blueprints right after the expansion. So here we go. I can show you guys where I've secured everything. This is a little bit of a risk, of course, what I'm showing you guys here, because I am going to divulge exactly what I'm planning to do, but I'm willing to share that with you. We'll see what the consequences will be. You can see that I also made one mistake. I bought 2 structure construction blueprints, but all right, that's 200 million, not that big a deal. Here are all of the other blueprint originals that we have that are actually fully researched. So I'm going to start putting those in separate containers, because otherwise it becomes just an incredible mess. But yeah, I bought all of these, and then I started making copies about most of those, and they've been selling like hotcakes. And after I've made my first Citadel. I'm just planning to do that activity again, but a bit more specialized. So you can see right here that I have a number of these components done. Now I have more structure markets than I need, and more docking bays as well, because at first I was going to go for a large, but all of this is enough to create a medium Citadel, which is now my first plan. So when the expansion hits, I'm buying the blueprint, the original, and I'm creating an Astraeus right off the bat. After that, I'll fit that with reprocessing, cloning probably, defenses, all of that good stuff. And then I'll open it up in the system of my choice, and we'll see if people actually decide to mine from there or not. I've been doing a decent amount of mining, and so I'll definitely have my use for that Citadel. I also have fuel blocks ready to go, so all of that is looking quite good. But the big deal, of course, is that we are planning to buy the Astraeus Blueprint Original, which is 6 billion. And with all of these as well, what I'm personally planning to do is provide packages that are the exact blueprint copies you need in order to create an Astraeus. So one run for Astraeus, one run for all of these: structure advertisement, nexus, structure construction, part, structure hanger array, and all of that. I think it's a service that I can very easily provide, and I think that I'll actually make me some money. So that is basically the first part of the Citadel expansion. Get my Astraeus going, and then start providing blueprint copy packages for everyone, so that they can get their own Astraeus going as well. Now, don't worry, when it comes to the Blueprint Original, we'll be as careful as possible, and I'm not planning to bring that to the POS. That's actually going to go to a research station so that it's 100% secure. But yeah, buying that is going to, of course, be a decent investment. And after that, we are planning to, of course, start constructing our large Citadel, which will then have its own market, so that we can maybe try and get some of that as well. But that is the longer term plan. When it comes to that, I'm planning for around the summer. I think I'll be able to finish that, and I think I'll be able to buy a blueprint copy at that point, because we just don't have 70 billion ISK lying around to buy the large Citadel Blueprint Original. But yeah, there you go. That's the preparations that I've been doing, and the first stage of our plans when it comes to the Citadel expansion. Of course, after that, we have the construction structure that they're planning to do with research and production. So that is, of course, going to replace the POS at that point. Oh yeah, that's one thing that I forgot, of course. When we have the Astraeus going, so all of this will be gone, and I'll have set up an Astraeus with reprocessing capabilities. I'm replacing the POS with this one right here, show info, a Serpentis control tower small. It has very, very small fuel usage. And it should be no problem to still put up both the labs, 1 or 2 production facilities, and some defense around that POS. So that means that I actually think that, despite the fact that we're going to have 2 structures, a small POS and a Citadel, I actually think that the fuel requirements of that will be quite manageable in costs compared to now. So that is why I brought this baby in here. But that's only something that I'll do after I get the Astraeus itself going, but that's definitely a part of the transition as well. And as I've said, after the summer, when the construction structure comes out, that's going to replace everything else we do in the POS. So then the POS disappears completely. Hopefully by then, CCP is planning to do a buyback program for POSes and all the POS structures as well. So that should just make everything a bit more smooth. If they start that at the same time, that's going to be perfect for us to basically only need the hull for the construction structure, be able to exchange everything else from our existing POS structures, and just keep going and expanding our industrial empire, which is a little bit what I'm planning to build here. I shouldn't really say empire, but industrial area where Co Incorporated is going to try to be active. And then, of course, during the winter, they're going to add a drilling platform, which by then, of course, we'll have to decide whether or not that's something we want to add to the possibilities. Now, what I think is the most important, maybe I should just quickly head back to the POS. You've seen the preparations here. Around 15 billion is present here, so we have enough to actually get the large Citadel hull as well. The biggest problem is going to be getting our hands on a blueprint copy for a reasonable price. Let's say $1 billion or something like that. I still think we'll need to spend that much, even a few months in. But that's of course all going to be part of the experience of trying to get a large Citadel going on a small corporation like ours. It's going to be quite interesting, and I'm definitely willing to put in the effort and the time that's going to take. But yeah, first step, get the Strauss going, replace the POS, and go from there. Then start to build on the large Citadel. So, and then we have several months of actually doing that. We'll see how all of that works out. But what I think is going to be the biggest difference between the Citadels, the new structures, and a POS at the moment is I can open this up to everyone. So even new players that find my channel and often ask me, well, how do I get going on industry or things like that, I can actually make my facilities, I'll be able to make my facilities available to them so that they can come there. I can of course make a bit of ISK as well if I decide to tax the activities there. But that is one aspect that I like, not just for myself, but for people in general. The only way that I could share the experiences and the work that I've been doing industry-wise with the POS, with everything that I've learned there at the moment, is to take people inside my corporation, which I'm just not willing to do. Because I would feel obligated to actually start supporting people within the corporation, doing stuff with them. I want to be absolutely free, but bringing that interaction, of course, makes it very difficult because a POS is just not accessible to anyone outside of the corporation. When it comes to Citadels, I'll be able to create a profile that gives everyone docking rights, everyone the right to use the reprocessing arrays, and of course when the market hits, I'll give everyone the rights to use the market as well. And most importantly, after the summer, when a construction structure comes out, I'll be able to normally open up all the research lanes, all of the construction lanes as well, and so a small community could start around my production facilities, and there is no obligation there on my part. I can just open that up, and if people want to play close to me, they can. If they don't want to, feel free to leave. And that is basically one thing that really attracts me to the Citadel expansion and those new structures, and is a big part of why I want to give all of that a go, because I want to see what I can build by myself, and then how much interaction we can get going with the rest of the EVE sandbox. If there's going to be competition for that, there's going to be wars around that. It's not just for me and for the corporation, but just the idea in general in EVE Online that you can see someone has put up an L or an XL Citadel somewhere in a system close by. You can actually start to contact them and ask them if you can get permission to use their facilities, to dock there, to have things safely, and thus more smaller communities could start to pop up around New Eden, and that could just be more content, more stuff to do without, and for me personally, that's a big thing, without having to put everyone inside your corporation, feel the need to constantly interact with everyone, to provide them with stuff to do. You know, as a CEO, you need pretty much a drive, a direction, something to have your corp mates work towards. You need shared goals. With this, everyone can still have their own goals, but you have the opportunity to interact with other people through these new structures, which you don't have this opportunity in the current POSes, and so that is really great in my opinion, and that's really what all my planning has been about, being able to create something that other people can interact with as well. It's very exciting to me, and I hope that I can get that done, and yeah, I can bring you guys everything about that experience as it will start on Wednesday. during the Citadel expansion. So yeah, there you go, guys. A little bit of background about what's been happening, all of my preparations and my plans for the Citadel expansion. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll be along for the ride. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.